All right, Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises. Call halal, YAHAWAH, Bahashem, Yahushai. All praise due to the name of the name of the Most High, to the name of the Son Yahawashi, who the world calls Christ. All right, Yahweh being the name of the Most High, who the world calls God. All right, this is Rayabya God. ZEALOTS Israel camp. All right, so looking at this article, I saw somebody posted, or this clip. This was taken during February 5th, right? So, of course, in the midst of the pandemic. Now, this happened before this pandemic got real big to the point of what has become the last 2 or 3 months. The FBI, are trying to use their devices, right? Spying out and all this other stuff upon, and trying to build a case upon, the prophets, the men of the Lord, all right? And, of course, they're going to classify us as black Hebrew Israelites, which black magic, black this, black that, that's all color coding / witchcraft, that they're using, to put curses on the nation of Israel, on you brothers and sisters that are of the circumcision, all right, that understand that you are Israelites according to the Bible. You're Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible, not black, all right? Now, point being, though, is that, as I play this clip, I'm not going to play the full clip, though. FBI says black Hebrew Israelites are under investigation, all right? California representative, I'm looking at it from the right way, Representative Karen Bass asks FBI Director Ray direct questions about black folks being investigated, arrested, and tried for no cause, being labeled as BIE, Black Identity Extremists. Director had no clear answer on the matter. And of course, as you're going to see in this video, the FBI run by Esau, the so-called white man. I mean, these devils, they just want any old reason to attack our people, and in particular, attack what we're doing. You know what I'm saying, which is prophesying and teaching on the street corners, because that's who they're mainly going to come after. They're going to come after people that believe as well. They're going to test the faith of brothers and sisters to see if they're really about this thing, if they're really going to have faith and wait ye upon me, as the scripture says. The Most High, told us to do. All right, and you can tell looking at this devil and the rest of these devils, man. They just know that they're just guilty. They know that they have no rhyme or reason of why they do the things they do, but they are what they are, man. They're the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. Being the Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, and especially these damn alphabet, organizations. I mean, these Pizzagate ass, pedophile, murderous, mischief causing, all right, organizations, whether it be the CIA, all throughout the earth. China already came out and said that they believe that it's the CIA are the cause for homosexuality to be put in their damn country. All right, this is something that they accuse the CIA of. I mean, that's just a small microcosm of the type of havoc and mischief and confusion that the Central Intelligence Agency or whatever, right, has done. Federal Bureau of Investigation, so-called FBI, they're the same way, man. They're just a bunch of murdering, scumbag, child molesting demons, right? And they want to have a reason to come after, our people, all right? And come after this truth, first and foremost, because they know that they have a short time. They know that it's about to go down, speaking of this damn country. And they know that They know that the Most High, when he sends his son, like, that's a wrap for them. So they got to attack the men of the Lord. They got to attack this truth on all angles and try to build a case upon our people. All right. So let's play this.
Thank you, Director Ray. Thank you for being with us today. And I know you've been here for a very long time. You know, we have spoken many times about black identity extremists, and I definitely want to ask you about that today. I understand that the Bureau no longer uses BIE and instead categorizes these cases under the broader label of racially motivated violent extremism. But one, I wanted to know if you guys have really repudiated the whole BIE category, because I know when we've talked about it in the past, it really didn't seem to be that there was much evidence that there were black identity extremists. And the title was a little longer than that. Something about black identity extremists that threaten police or attack police. So tell me what's different.
So I found our conversations before to be, very constructive and very valuable. And we also engaged not just with you and your colleagues, but also with Noble, with whom we have a great relationship and are working more closely than ever.
Good.
We have, as you mentioned, changed our terminology as part of a broader reorganization of the way in which we categorize our domestic terrorism efforts. So we took a whole bunch of categories, not just the one that you mentioned, but a number of others, and consolidated it down to really 4 buckets. And the reason for that is
what are the 4 buckets?
What's that?
What are the 4 buckets?
There's racially motivated violent extremism, which is any kind of violent extremism that's driven with a kind of racial intent of one sort or another, no matter which direction. There is anarchism/government extremism. I may not have the label right, but that covers kind of variety of everything, sort of certain kinds of militia stuff, all the way over to kind of more of the anarchist, maybe sort of Antifa-like kind of methodology. There is abortion violent extremism, people on either side of that issue who commit violence on behalf of different views on that topic.
People on either side of that issue don't commit violence.
Well, we've actually had a variety of kinds of violence under that, you believe it or not. But
really,
at the end of the day, and then the last one has to do with animal rights and environmental extremism. What's that?
Those are the 4.
Those are the 4. And the point is, we wanted to underscore what I told you earlier, but we wanted to make it even more clear that at the end of the day, for us, it's not about the ideology, it's about the violence. That's where we weigh in. It's not that the ideology isn't important for us as Americans, but we only investigate violence and the crimes that go with the violence.
But so under the racially motivated violent extremism, how many African American or black groups are considered under there?
Well, again, I want to be clear. We don't investigate groups per se. We have properly predicated investigations into individuals, and in some cases they may have co-conspirators, but in each of those instances, it's where we have 3 things: credible evidence of a federal crime, credible evidence, number 2, of violence or threat or use of violence, and then number 3, on behalf of some ideology. So if we have those things, only if we have those things will we open an investigation.
So are white supremacist groups under racially motivated violent extremism? Or do white supremacists have a whole separate category?
Well, again, I want to stay away from the use of the word groups. We certainly investigate white supremacist motivated violent extremism in the same category that we're talking about. So, for example, we just last month arrested 8 members, I think, of a
Virginia, correct? That was the group that was on their way to Virginia?
I think that's right. I can't remember that detail specifically.
So there are organizations, and I understand that, when you say you just investigate individuals, that you just gave an example of a group. So I know that there are a lot of white supremacist groups. And so my question to you is about black groups. And so I don't know, maybe they're black individuals, but under the category of black identity extremism, formally, there were organizations such as the one in Texas and the individual in Texas that was arrested. He was incarcerated for a while, and then after being incarcerated and going on trial, he was released. He had activity on a website, and he also had literature when he was arrested. Are you familiar with the case that I'm talking about? We've talked about it before.
I think so, yeah.
So my question is, are there African Americans or black groups or individuals that are currently a part of the racially motivated violent extremism category?
Well, again, I don't know that I would speak in terms of investigating groups. We investigate individuals, and in some instances, individuals with co-conspirators. And I would say certainly there are individuals who we categorize and track under the racially motivated violent extremism part of our program management, who are African Americans targeting others. So, for example, you probably saw some of the reporting about the killing of the individuals in Jersey City, including the killing of the people in the kosher supermarket.
I did.
Those individuals were associated themselves with something called the Black Hebrew Israelite.
Oh, I'm very familiar with them.
That would be in that category.
So let's use that as an example, because I'm very familiar with that group. That group is in several what'd you say? Yeah, well, excuse me, but I'm taking the prerogative of the chair.
It's happened all day.
Using that group as an example, is that a group, because they are open, you see them on street corners in different groups. They're not a secret group at all. Is that group part of the racially motivated extremism? The group. I understand the act that took place. I understand the individuals, and it's not clear their level of association.
What I would say to you on that is that we have some investigations into individuals who associate themselves with that movement.
Beyond those two people?
Yes.
Okay. And Director Ray, documents published in 2019.
So, yeah, that's why.
Are no misunderstandings moving.
So yeah, so you just heard, man. They putting brothers and sisters on a watch list and on the radar, and they been have done this though. All right, and what's gonna end up happening? You know what I'm saying? Because we got to understand that this is the Most High's movie. But what's gonna end up happening is that of course we're gonna brothers are gonna be approached by these particular alphabet groups, man, and that's the reason why, like, at the end of the day, they're gonna come after us, all of us, right? But what is going to happen though? It's gonna grow. They do things gradually, and this is the reason why we got to stay on our P's and Q's and stay in the spirit. All right. Now let's go ahead and go to this scripture right here. Let's go ahead and go to Matthew, the 24th verse. All right. Because they're always trying to look for something. Okay. And most likely they're going to set up, false flags. I've been talking about this going back since 2015. All right. And this is something that they're about to do, man. You know what I'm saying? And we got to be prepared for it, man, in the spirit. All right. So let's get this Matthew, the 24th chapter. I believe. Yep. Verse 8. So, and it's crazy and it's ironic because in verse 6 and verse 7, all right, that's happening literally right now. What's YAHAWASH speaking on, but let's deal with verse 9. Matthew chapter 24, verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you. You shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. All right. So in these times, we're going to be delivered up. and be hated for Yahawah's namesake, for Yahweh's namesake, man. All right, we're going to be delivered up because he went through it, so his servants will go through it. All right. Whether, brothers and sisters, brothers that teach on the street corners and the sisters that labor with the brothers as well. I mean, this is the future. All right. What's going to come. So, I just wanted to play that clip, just bring out that scripture and just let brothers know, like, this is on the table and this is something that's going to happen in the midst of everything that's happening right now, man. So with that said, I want to say, call Allah, Yahawah Shem Shai, Brak Yahweh, Brak Shai, call Allah, Yahawah Shem Shai. And until next video, I say Shalom.